In this video, we will delve into the investigation of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, who has been missing since January 31, 2026. The long days since she vanished have been marked by disturbing twists, purported ransom notes demanding millions of dollars in Bitcoin, an intensive investigation, a masked person tampering with the doorbell camera at Guthrie's home, and emotional video pleas from her children begging for the return of their mother. In the days preceding Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, investigators discovered footage of a suspicious individual. At 3:30 a.m. on January 23, 2026, this person was reportedly seen lurking around a neighbor's house, located 6 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. On February 1, 2026, a ring submitted by a neighbor shows a man in a gray jacket carrying 2 dark backpacks approximately 5 miles south of Nancy Guthrie's home. While this footage was captured at 1:53 a.m. near the time frame of the disappearance and was submitted to the FBI for review, authorities have not confirmed a connection to the case. This specific sighting is being weighed against previously released Nest footage of a masked suspect seen directly at Guthrie's residence, and independent analysis suggests the two incidents may be unrelated due to significant differences in location and timing. Despite these discrepancies, the footage perhaps remains a point of interest. This all began when a member of Guthrie's church group, she failed to arrive for a scheduled online service gathering the following morning. This absence prompted immediate concern, and her family was notified. When relatives went to her home around 11:56 a.m. to check on her, they searched the house and the surrounding property, but found no sign of her.
And that Uber driver, just to be clear, she's been cleared. You don't think?
Well, we don't, yeah, I mean, nobody's really ever cleared, right, until we've solved this thing. But yeah, we have no, for anybody for that matter, but we think she's been very honest with us, very helpful and cooperative. We don't suspect her at all.
Good.
At 9:48 p.m., Guthrie was dropped off at her home in the Catalina foothills by her son-in-law, Tommascocioni. He allegedly observed her entering the house safely. At 9:50 p.m., a neighborhood surveillance and smart home logs show her garage door closing, allegedly marking the last time she was confirmed secure at home. At 1:47 a.m., a masked and gloved individual is seen on doorbell footage. The suspect appears to block the camera lens with plant matter or a cloth before the camera is manually disconnected. According to investigative reports, the camera system's detection feature identified a figure at 2:12 a.m. However, no video was recorded because the suspect had already tampered with the hardware at approximately 1:47 a.m. Please note that the image shown to the right is for illustrative purposes only. At 2:28 a.m., Nancy's pacemaker app records a disconnect from her phone. According to reports, because the app requires a 10-foot Bluetooth proximity, this is perhaps considered the moment she was forcibly taken from her home or her phone was disabled. Please note that the brand of pacemaker and app was not indicated, the image for an example illustration only. Sunday, February 1st, 12:03 p.m., 911 is called after Nancy fails to show up for virtual church. Deputies find blood splatter on the porch and signs of a struggle near the front door.
We hope we are. We hope we are.
Sheriff said earlier that you don't believe there's a wider threat to the public. If you're not sure if it's targeted, why do you believe there's no wider threat to the public?
Well, we have crime in Tucson all the time, right? Like any city. And so when you say a threat to the public, is there somebody out there who's kidnapping elderly people in the middle of the night every night? We've not heard that. We don't believe that's the case. We do believe that Nancy was taken from her home against her will, and that's where we're at.
Sheriff, about the answer that you gave earlier. You were asked there was any ransom, and you didn't say no, you said we're following all leads. Does that mean a ransom has come in?
We're following all leads we have. That's all I can tell you. We've got hundreds of leads, and it's from you that produce those leads by telling people we need help. And
what can you tell us about this ransom note that you saw?
Yeah, this ransom note, which came into our tip email yesterday morning, was very alarming just because there were things in there there were details that, if true, and again, we don't know because we haven't seen Nancy's home, but they certainly mentioned things that was intended to make the authorities know that this is for real. We have passed along all of that information to the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and I can tell you, not only are they taking it seriously, the FBI is now taking it seriously because we've had a conversation with an FBI agent while Pima County detectives were also on the line. They had some questions about the email, which we shared all the information that we have with them.
On February 5th, 2026, DNA tests confirmed the blood on the porch belongs to Nancy. On February 10th, 2026, the FBI releases residual data from the doorbell camera showing the suspect was armed with a handgun in a hip holster. On February 13, 2026, investigators also tagged and towed a Range Rover SUV from a nearby restaurant parking lot late Friday. The Sheriff's Department later said the activity was part of the Guthrie investigation, but no arrests were made. On February 14, 2026, the FBI announced that the glove, which contained a DNA profile, had been sent for testing. The latest update from Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos indicates no match was found in the Combined DNA Index System, CODIS, the FBI's national DNA database.
We know that Nancy Guthrie has a pacemaker. It connects through Bluetooth to her cell phone and also to her watch. Both of those devices were recovered from the crime scene left behind. According to our sources, investigators starting last week used this signal sniffer to try to identify this pacemaker. Each pacemaker has its own unique signal, kind of like a fingerprint. It is attached to the bottom of an aircraft, in this specific case, a helicopter. And it was last week that we first saw crews, investigators, hanging out of an open door of a helicopter, flying low as they surveyed the area, trying to pick up that unique signal. At this point, it is unclear if they have had any luck. We also don't know if this particular search will continue on as the search for Nancy Guthrie continues.
Questions also persist regarding the discovery of the scene. Family members entered through the front door but did not initially report the blood splatter on the porch. Additionally, while her son-in-law, Tommascocioni, reportedly watched her enter the home at 9:48 p.m., her security system was compromised only 4 hours later. The lack of extensive surveillance on a large estate has further hindered the search. Moving forward, investigators may need to pivot to investigative genetic genealogy, IgG, to identify the suspect.